Morning guys, Scott from SE Landscaping, ground care specialist up in the northeast of England. Something a bit different today. I am off down to York for a stop this morning, an hour and 10 minutes down the road, to a rather large nursery. I'm going to pick some plants for a planting scheme we've got in a couple of weeks time, so I'm going down to pick some plants for that job, and then I have a visit at RHS Harlow Carr planned for on the way back. With a bit of luck, I've booked it, and providing I can get there with the time slot, because at the moment due to COVID you have to book time slots. So providing I can get there for midday, I will get you some footage from Harlow Carr. I do try and get to this garden a couple of times a year. It's good to visit, it's good to see what plant schemes, what new plants are around, and obviously the RHS leaders in our industry, sort of planting wise and stuff. So yeah, it's good to see what's going on down here. A great garden to visit if any of you guys are members, or if you're not members, it's worth spending the money, and you can go all year for free basically. So stay tuned and we'll get you some footage of the garden. Like I say, it's something a bit different from the norm of out cutting grass and pruning and things, so hopefully you guys will like what you see. So here we are in the Harlow Carr garden in Harrogate, guys. This garden is probably the most central in the country, really. I mean, it's good for people from the north or people from Sheffield and that way on. All the others are sort of right down south, so it is quite a good garden for a big geographical area to visit very easily. I've come from the northeast, which is just an hour up the road. So yeah, it is well worth a visit to try to get here a couple of times a year and see what's going on. As we've come in the garden, we've come up to the left to what is the Bramall building, which is a learning facility when children come to the garden. There's a library in there also for adults, and there's various outdoor areas where people can children can sit and learn in this area of the garden. As you can see, Harlow Carr, like everywhere else at the moment, they leave in a lot of areas unmown, just for wildlife, rather than all the formal greens that there used to be a lot more of. So that's good for the environment. And they've got some borders packed with just about every plant you can possibly imagine once you work your way around the garden, with good colour schemes all year round. Little pocket gardens pop up everywhere around the garden, as you can see, as well as quite a few ponds. There's 3 or 4 small pocket ponds, like you can see here, which are quite good. And the first view of the Queen Mother's Lake, which has just been recently extended and dug out onto the other side. When I was here in January, they were working on this with excavators, and that's all complete now. A couple more pocket gardens we're working through at the moment. One that you're going to see in a minute is actually done by the famous garden designer, which is Dermot Gavin. Good use of plants, and also the mirror at the end of this garden really sets it off. So it's one area of the garden well worth a look. We're just coming into view now onto the right there. Excellent little space. Looks a lot bigger than it looks on the photos, on the video, sorry. And then back out, and we pick up a lot more of the wildflower areas as we head back around to get a second view of the Queen Mother's Lake from the other side, including a bit of wildlife and ducks and various other things on the bank in the distance. This is the side of the lake that's all been renovated recently, and it's altered the garden. Now from here you can hang a left and you can go up to the Arboretum and the woodland, but I choose not to go up here every time. Basically it is just trees and a walk. There's no plants or anything, so it's not something I tend to do every time. It's something I tend to just go up now and again. Up to that area, I choose to go along the streamside walks, which we're going to now. Great use of colours and ferns, hostas, even down to primulas and things, just to brighten this area up. Every time you come, there's some different kinds of plants in. They do make real good use of the space. Years ago, these banks were just green, really, with ferns and things, but they have improved them quite a lot, which is very good. And on to the other side, as we work our way along, along the formal lawns. Lawns are in tip-top condition here, mown regular, apart from obviously the wildflower areas which are left. But you can see the borders are just packed with colour even this early on in the summer, and there can only be more to come from those areas. So this streamside walk is probably my favourite part of the garden, I would say. Definitely worth a look. As well as the lake, they've made various other additions to the garden that you'll see over the course of the video also. One thing with the garden that you don't see a huge amount of is topiary, which a lot of gardens tend to use. At Harlow Carr, there are only a few little bits here and there, which I do like to see. A good bit of topiary. I think everybody likes a bit of topiary, but there isn't a huge amount in the garden. Just these few bits you see here as you come along the streamside walk. But they do break it up and give you something else to look at. And back on with some more borders, which seem to extend forever when you walk on them, but they're not all the same. Once you get down and have a look at the plants, there's quite a good variety as you work your way along. Just to look back down over to the streamside garden there, and back along the walks, and something for you tractor buffs. A bit of machinery there for anybody who's interested. The next area of the garden we're heading to is sort of the rock gardens and the rock borders. That's the next area we're going to look at after this little bit of a stream here. Again, great use of colour in amongst hostas, begonias and everything else. Always thinking about all year round, putting something next to something else that's going to finish and something else that's going to start. Excellent use of plants. And here we are in the sort of rock garden areas. Another large lake there. Just very picturesque. Every part of the garden just gives you something to look at. Really impressive. Anybody with streams or small ponds in their own garden or gardens they can look after for other people can take a lot of inspiration coming here. Obviously all the plants are identified, so if you see something you can either take a photo or you can get the name, and most of them are readily available at the shop here because a lot of the herbaceous stuff is split by division. So the next area as we come back onto the streamside walk is a new bridge they were working on in January when we were here, which was a new stone bridge for crossing the river. It is a work in progress. They They have been on with it for quite a while, but I think you'd be quite impressed when you see this bridge. Amazing use of stone there. Like I say, it's not quite finished, so we can't travel over it, but you can see the detail and the time that's gone into building this. It's a very impressive addition to the garden, which here at Harlow Carr, as well as the other RHS gardens, they're always adding to. Now we head up the main border areas. Same again, herbaceous and shrubbery. This is a bit like the streamside walk. These two areas are probably my favourites. Being a plant lover, it's well worth a visit. We're just going to pull off left here, halfway up the borders. We'll continue that bit later, and we're just going to head back down to pick up some more of the rock gardens. And same again, a lot of stuff there on these areas are just coming into flower, and a lot of stuff finishing for all round colour. They don't use a huge amount of gravels in the garden. It is a lot of bare soil, but this is one area where it does make things stand out. And back onto formal lawns, looking very neat and tidy. Next, we're going to head up to the kitchen garden. Every fruit and vegetable possible that can be grown in this country is grown in this area. It's a vast space on the garden. But as you can see, everything's ready, all prepared. I'm more of a plant person than fruit and veg. I know a lot about plants and names, but fruit and veg isn't my specialist area. And this is a small pocket garden in the corner, which is a scented garden. Roses and various other scented plants in here. It's well worth a walk around if you've got a good sense of smell. It's only small and it's set out the way, but when you do walk in this garden, it does hit you. The different scents from different plants, lavenders especially. And then next we're going to head up to the Alpine House. Anybody who likes rock loving plants and small alpines, this is the same again. Unfortunately, it isn't open, so you can't go in. You can just see it from the outside. But I have been in there previous, and there's lots to look at. The final area that I'm going to take you along to is another area that's actually work in progress. This was the third area that the guys were on with in January when I came, which is the Sun stroke Mediterranean border that they're currently trying to create here. It isn't finished. I believe they're going to pick up the planting again sometime back end of this year, but it's well in progress. The paths have been altered on it, and like I say, it's just bare soil, as you will see in a minute. So that's something to look forward to on the next visit to the garden, hopefully in a few months' time, if we come back. And this is the Sun border that I was speaking about. So I hope you've liked the video, guys, and I hope you do get to visit Harlow Carr in the near future. And if you could like and subscribe to our videos, I hope this has been informative and something different from the usual videos that we bring you, where it's just machinery. I hope people who haven't been to the garden have have enjoyed this video. So yeah, hit the like and subscribe button, and we shall bring you some more footage of things in the future. So thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with a nice formal lawn again.